How's it going, guys? Welcome to VFG Movie Reviews, and this is my review for Pressure. Guys, if you could, give us a like, give us a subscribe, help us grow. Thank you so very much. Now let's get right into this review. Ooh, man, this takes place during the planning of D-Day. We have Brendan Fraser playing Dwight D. Eisenhower Ike. We have Andrew Scott playing James Stagg. I love World War II movies. I really do, man. I really love war movies. I love listening to war documentaries. Like, everything was so different back in those times. There's something like romantic about it, but yet they were some of the most hardcore bad times. Like, I mean, not saying this timeline ain't shit, but I'm just saying, like, all of it going into, like, everything Germany did and all that shit, and then everything we dealt with Japan, and it's just an interesting time. When you're looking back on it, it's a very, very interesting, and people romance about it, that how cool it was and everything. But, it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool. It was interesting. It was an interesting time. So, this is a story about leading up to D-Day. Everything that took into a factor was weather. Like, they couldn't just, like, if there was like a hurricane or something like that, because they couldn't just storm the beaches in that sense, because if the waves were too high, the boats weren't going to make it and all this shit. They would capsize, all 9 yards. It would be disastrous for the Allies and very favorable for the Germans. So this is the story of basically watching weather patterns and dealing with a high pressure situations as if D-Day is going to happen or D-Day is not going to happen. Well, the original day for D-Day didn't happen. It literally happened the day after what the original plan for D-Day was. But I'm going to have to tell you, man, Brendan Fraser, he is such a big dude. We think in our head when we look at him that he's a fun-loving dude, which he really is, and he's a cool dude. But, like, he's a big, imposing dude. So if you put him in that sense of running into a room, pounding his fist, raising his voice, and just the sheer size of him, he is so impressive. And he is so impressive in this movie. I don't know a lot about Dwight D. Eisenhower. I can't say if he played a good version of Dwight D. Eisenhower, but I can say he played a good version of this person. And he is so built, baby. Like, it is not even funny in this movie. And it's not built in the sense of muscle or anything. Like, he's just imposing. And I think that's what made this cool, because there's moments where you're like, look, man, you're on board or you're not on board. We need to know. There are millions of soldiers that their lives are depending on this. And he says it's a go. You're not saying it's a go. I need your answer. The whole 9 yards of what goes on in this is absolutely outstanding. I got to see this as a early access. This movie is now officially out, so my ratings will reflect my early access. But this was a brilliant, fun movie. There were some things that I didn't like about it, and then there were some things I would have changed. They're about to launch D-Day, and there's this like clock bang, 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 leading up to it, and then it goes into scenes of them storming the beaches, soldiers getting mowed down, the whole 9 yards. I wanted them to just end it, like, before we see D-Day, because we've always seen D-Day. Anytime D-Day is shown or talked about, we always see either the start of D-Day, the aftermath, or the middle of it. I think it would have been cool if the movie would have just went to black. Soon as, like, you hear the clock, bang, 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 D-Day starts, it ends. Do the writing to talk about how James Stagg's story ended, how Ike's story ended, how the Allies won D-Day, and all this shit. I think would have been better. But that is my personal opinion. But like I said, I think this movie is really good, really fun. If you guys get a chance, go check it out. What are the rankings for this movie? Letterboxd has it sitting at a 3.5 out of 5. Rotten Tomato has an 83 critic score, 0% audience score. Again, this was an early access. IMDb has it sitting at a 0.0 out of 10. Again, this was sitting at early access. But where does this lie on my 5-star review scale? The story is a 3.5. The cinematography is a 3.5. The characters are a 3. The design is a 4, which brings our total to 3.5 stars. Guys, let me know down below. Did you see Pressure? Are you a Brendan Fraser fan? I sure am. Love this man dearly. If you guys could, please throw me a like, throw me a subscribe, throw me a share. If you got some fat Cheeto eating friends who love movies and love talking about movies, I'd sure love to be their friends and eat some Cheetos with them. I really would. Thank you guys, and I will see you in my next review. Bye.